presence outside of Quebec. Mr. Speaker, I really don't understand.
Member for Dufferin-Caledon.
92%, Mr. Speaker. Gang-related homicides are up 92% since 2015. Let that sink in. 124,000. 124,000 more violent crimes this past year than in 2015. When will this Liberal government learn their hug-a-thug approach to crime in this country is literally costing Canadians their lives? But if you listen to them, everything's fine. Will they abandon this soft-on-crime approach?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
And the timing of that question couldn't be better, because this afternoon we are starting clause-by-clause consideration of Bill C-22, which will be transformational legislation when it comes to gun control in this country, Mr. Speaker. But that's not all we're doing, Mr. Speaker. We're also ensuring that communities have the resources that they need to support young people from starting involvement with gangs. We've put $1 billion into the border to make sure that we are bolstering our border to prevent guns from being struggled. We know that we need a multifaceted approach, Mr. Speaker, and that's exactly what we're doing.
The Honourable Member for Charlebourg, Haute-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, the Mayor of Laval has told me that most of the crimes committed in his city are linked to illegal firearms and to organized crime. He says that we need better control at the borders to stop the smuggling of illegal weapons. And in the Prime Minister's imaginary world, the solution is to eliminate weapons that are used by hunters and to give criminals lighter crimes. When will he start prioritizing the safety of Canadians instead of prioritizing criminals? The Honourable Minister of Justice. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in the history of Canada, we have eliminated a number of mandatory minimums. Mr. Speaker, that means that we are turning the page after the failure of the Conservative Party and their tough-on-crime policies. Mr. Speaker, as my colleague has said, we are going to move forward with a clause-by-clause study today for Bill C-21, which will fight firearms and handguns and assault weapons in Canada, Mr. Speaker, and we need to devote resources in that direction to continue to fight organized crime in Canada. The Honourable Member for Charlebourg, Haute-Saint-Charles. Well, it's quite the opposite, Mr. Speaker. The failure is from the Liberals. StatsCan has just published results that indicate that murders have been up over the last 3 years. 40% of homicide victims are attributed to the use of weapons and street gangs, and street gangs have free rein because they know that the Liberal government is taking away mandatory minimum sentences. They know that they have free rein to do what they want. When is the Prime Minister going to get serious and stop misleading Canadians and make sure that Canada's streets are safe? The Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, the misleading statements come from the other side of the House. After years of Conservative government where there were cuts to border services, cuts to police services, and that cuts to their means to fight smuggling and gangs, we have to undo what the Conservatives have done. We are investing in our borders. We're investing in anti-gang programs. We're increasing maximum crimes for gun smuggling, Mr. Speaker, and that's the right direction. We are going to make Canada safer. The Honourable Member for Lac Saint